topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the host and their guests, and not those of W4CS Radio, its employees, or affiliates. W4CS makes no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening to the Cancer Support Network on W4CS.com.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's Arti with another episode of Light Up Your Life. And speaking of light, I was in a very pink mood today, so I'm all pink. Pink shirt, pink lipstick. So we have, there's a book that I would read to my kids. It was called Food is Mood, and have these fun pictures of different colors of food and mood. And so that's the same thing with clothing and energy. So today I was in a really pink mood. And remember, raising vibrational frequency, we talk about that a lot, is the idea of adding color into your life. And I'm really excited because today we're really going to focus a lot on plant-based lifestyle and a whole foods plant-based lifestyle. And when our guest comes on, we're really going to talk about the expansive nature of like eating and color and adding vibrance in our lives through food with color. So I share that because today, like I said, I was really, usually in the past, I've worn a lot of black. My girls always comment, "What's up with my black pants all the time?" And I'm really realizing, as I have really worked now consistently trying to build my energy up, that the more that I add color into my life, that vibrational frequency also goes into our system. And so I just want you to be mindful in the morning when you choose, even your clothing calls for you, your jewelry and your necklace, or your slacks or a tie or a suit, and just notice, take that minute to notice what that color looks like. And if you really dig deep, it actually is color will really help build that energy center. And we haven't done our chakra focus yet, but when I do my own show in a couple of weeks, we can really focus on that. But those of you who've been doing the work know that the different chakras have different colors, and adding that vibrational frequency just continues to upload it. Before we have our guest on today, I just wanted to share with you one personal detail. I've decided to pursue a PhD in general psychology, and I couldn't be more excited because I actually really, really do believe in education. I think education and advocacy are the key ingredients to making sustainable change. And it comes, and I share this with you because I never thought. I've also had some hiccups in my own journey with education. I had some teachers in my education system that didn't believe in me, and I doubted myself also in college when I was doing my college writing class. So I just want to remind you, if I can pursue and chase my dreams, and I say it all the time, if you use examples of famous people like Tony Robbins, he'll tell you the same thing. If you continue to keep your dreams first and foremost, and you start to really believe in them happening, that manifestation of dreams will happen. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's a big part of what is going to help the mission at DIA take place, is really to make sure everything's data-driven in a really great way, evidence-based, and I'm really excited about sharing where things go in this chapter. Alrighty, without no further ado, I'm really excited. I say this every week, but I just get so excited about coming on Fridays with these wonderful people. And so Nita Jane is actually one of my, I mean, I don't have favorite people, but I do, right? There's some people that just hit your heart in such a great way. And she's one of them. Nita actually lives here in Hampton Roads area with me, and my husband and Nita's husband are actually best friends, and they're very close. And I met Nita when I got married, but little did I know that our journey would take us to this parallel road of health and wellness. And if I think about my journey in getting here, about health and wellness, and really approaching plant based lifestyle and making sustainable change for myself and for my community, Nita really, I can finger point and tell you that she propelled. She propelled my own journey. And you'll hear when she shares that that is her mission. She just wants to forward this momentum. So she has touched my life, which impacted my mom's um, end of life with her making drastic changes at the very end too with her own diet through Nita and all of the work that she does. So Nita is a private vegan plant-based chef who runs Thaza Table, and we'll get her to describe that journey of labeling and coming up with the name Thaza Table. I think it's such a beautiful name. Anita shares her passion for cooking and recipes and making them whole food, plant based, but making them very delicious and also adding vibrance because she really believes that everything is energy. And so she adds color and makes everything just so beautiful. And you'll get to see that if you ever get a chance to go ahead and go on to her Instagram page. You'll see that food photography piece really in high gear. And she really took on that passion, especially during the pandemic, and has a great following of folks who, and great connections of folks who have come into this arena. Nita certified in plant-based nutrition, the nutritional studies through the Center of Nutritional Studies, at Cornell University. And it's a really remarkable program. We had Dr. T. Colin Campbell a few months ago. And if you tuned into that episode, that's exactly where Nita got really grounded, as she would say, in this work as well. And really, more than anything, Nita is consistently wanting to grow and learn. And I'm just really excited about the conversation we're going to have today. The title is The Power and Journey of a Plant-Based Lifestyle, because we're going to have Nita share her own journey and how it unfolded and why she does what she does. So welcome, Nita.
Thank you so much, Aarti, for the beautiful introduction. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, thank you so much. So, Nita, not only have you impacted my life, but so many already. So, can you share? I always start by asking, because there's always a story when we look at the beginning. So, can you share how it was growing up? Because, of course, you grew up in India, but can you share that experience of food and culture growing up in India and that experience and how it's shaped who you are?
Absolutely. First of all, I would really agree with you on the color, and I think we were on a same telepathic level. And I chose pink and pink lipstick, so I highly believe in the colors. And being a Reiki healer myself, I think color adds a lot of mood and a lot of vibrations to personal mind body connection and stuff like that. But yeah, so growing up in India, we were a big family, and I was born vegetarian and always exposed to fresh cooking that my mom or my grandma would do. So I would watch them, but I was not into cooking that time. But just being exposed to a lot of natural ingredients, Ayurveda at a very young age, and I was very blessed because that actually later on helped me heal. So, and then I moved to the United States in 2003 when I got married, and we were in up in there in Ithaca, New York, where my husband was doing his MBA from Cornell. And that year really gave me a chance to develop my culinary passion and trying new things, and exposed to so many exciting cuisines that really got me into cooking actually. And but after a few years, when I gave birth to I have two boys, And my in-laws were helping me with my food and diet, and that time I wasn't aware of it. Although I was vegetarian, I was consuming dairy and gluten and stuff like that. And I came to realize that those ingredients at the time of birth, when your body is going through so much, was causing me some issues. And I started developing some joint pains, and my body was very painful, and I wasn't sure how to proceed or how to get help. And I did realize it was getting to a point where I need to see a rheumatologist, or kind of discover what happened to me. And But I'm so happy and I guess blessed that I did listen to her advices, but I did not want it to continue taking medication or steroid injections for the rest of my life, because I knew that was not the path. I was not exposed to medications early on, and I knew I had to find answers within and heal. And so I went to India shortly after that, and met with my mentor, my family doctor, Dr. N.K. Sharma, which I think you had hosted him on your show. And he told me what the true paradigm for health means, and how what we eat and what we think actually affects us. So the balance was off because of the childbirth and so much stress and all these things. Then I realized that I need to do this for myself and heal in a way that it sustains for long term, not just for just popping a pill and just kind of be okay with the symptoms. So I started, taking the dairy out of my diet, taking the gluten out, and consecutively, consistently remain more on just fruits and vegetables. And there was a time where it was not easy, and I felt very deprived, going to restaurants and not be able to eat what other people do. But I remained with it. I remained true to my health, and within 6 months or 7 months, my healing started happening. I was into yoga, I was into positive thinking, and I can't tell you the difference I felt. And I felt so powerful, so energetic. And I felt, oh my God, this is what I wanted to share with the world, because I have gone through it. And it could happen through food, because what we eat is what we become. And so I started my a blog, Taza Table, just as a medium to share my journey with others, and as an inspiration, so they can unlock their journeys and healing. And my approach in cooking is very much so very true to nature. I don't believe in too many bottled or canned things. It's very, very fresh cooking. That's what I share on my website, or my blog. Um, and then I did not just stop there. I continued. Now it's been 9 years that I have become complete vegan. My whole family is on this lifestyle, and I keep on, like you, I keep on educating myself, keep on exposing me, listening to podcasts, because I want to keep growing on this topic of nutrition, which is so powerful. And when I read like datas, of all these obesity and heart disease and all these things, it all starts with what we put in our mouth. And people, and I'm so blessed that I did not ignore those basic symptoms that my body was telling me. So that was my whole journey, and I'm so happy that I changed or transformed my weakness into my positivity or my strength of life. And I motivate and inspire others to do the same. So I hope I told you a little bit about my background.
Yes, it is true. You do inspire, because I remember when I had told you that my mommy had cancer, and you said, Arti, go ahead and visit that, taking out the dairy. And after talking to you, then I started that huge, I don't even know how many hours of research. Then and it's all this, it was conclusive. Like, it's literally conclusive. It's
Absolutely.
not, there was not even a shade of gray and then and then Nita, everyone encouraged me to also watch. She uses it, and we'll talk to her about the power of of documentaries. But she had told me to watch Forks Over Knives. So I was also vegetarian at this point, but that's when I chose to be vegan because watching some visuals does
Absolutely.
something to us. So Nita, can you share with us some of the documentaries that you have found powerful in this journey? Because the media can be used for good, like you are using social
Absolutely.
media for good.
So while there are so many, diets that are misleading, and people get so confused with who to listen, who to follow. That's another story that I had to learn in 9 years. And then when I meet people who are not yet vegan or not even vegetarian, they want to listen or see the data or see some transformational documentaries. So I like to share with them so they can understand that. So Folks versus Knife, and then Game Changers was a one that was beautifully done, and now you can see all the athletes and all the top performing athletes are turning vegan because it has benefits. It is better recovery, and it keeps you fit, and all these things that they are going to help them with energy. um, I am not recalling a lot of them, but yeah,
Those are two
I
great
think
ones.
those are, if you start,
Yeah.
are the most powerful one. And then another one that I absolutely love, recently I watched on, I think Netflix, was Heal. That was a very nice one. It was a complete holistic approach, and all of those, therapies or things that could help heal people actually. And so I'm a big believer of, coming from India, the yoga science, Ayurveda science, about complete holistic approach, because it's a power that you have to unlock for yourself and what works for your body, and that a doctor or a drug cannot do in a long term.
Totally. I love teal. Anita had told me about you had told me about it a few weeks ago. So I took a little bit of time and I watched one, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was so great because you had people who really these they just and they were powerful, again,
Yeah,
very powerful people in our
absolutely.
industry, and they have done remarkable things. And it's just it reminds you of about passion that can be fueled for good is what I
Right.
think of this movement for, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, so I think the health was when I understood what is true health, and obviously I stick with it. Is not that you can achieve in 1 day or 10 day like these diets would tell you. It's a long term consistent investment into yourself, and I take it as a very pride, because I feel like whatever faith you follow, you have given a beautiful body, a vehicle for this life to achieve your goals, or live life beautifully. And why not invest into feeding it well or thinking it well? So my approach is not just food, which is very important on its own, but also what you think. So when I cook with a very calm mind. I have like music playing, and I never rush or cook with like sad emotions or thinking about other people, because again, like you said, everything has energy, and it's
Mhm.
all going into that. So I never eat while I'm seeing a violent or any movie, because again, all those emotions come to you in the food. So it's a very important perspective, like when I understood what true health is. And then again, exercise, yoga, it's such an important element. I know there's no day when I don't do yoga, because it makes my body feel so good, energetic. My lymphatic system is moving, my all my circulatory or immune system is so well, because I perform yoga and I breathe so well. So all this adds up to total health package. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I love that you said total health because to me, when you say total health, I think holistic, and holistic is like the whole person, mind,
right.
body, spirit, all of it.
Absolutely,
I
absolutely,
love the fact that you use the word investment. I think that can start to get a lot of people on board because we always think about money investment, right?
right,
Consistently throughout life, we think about how we invest our money, which is important. Don't get me, you know. At the same time, our fundamental body, like you said, our body, many people are now commenting and they know that my body is my temple. Dr. Sharma talks about let's
Yeah,
start treating our bodies
absolutely.
like our temple.
It is true. Very true. So I feel like when it's a temple, why put toxic stuffs, or why put these things into your body that harms it? So I no longer. I mean, I had always occasionally taken wine or something, but I don't drink at all, because to me that's, again, the body is very alkaline and it's toxicity going inside. So I stick with like fresh juices. Juicing is such a big part of my diet, and I highly recommend to anybody who's doing a detox. Like few like a month ago, I had some skin reaction, and I immediately went back into clean juicing and lots of fruits and vegetables, because I knew there was something that was causing heat to my body. And also, like you said, Ayurveda, which is a mind, body, spirit study and a science. I feel like every person in the world is born with some body constitution, and you have to learn your own body constitution. So I believe even though you could be plant based, which I am, you have to eat according to your constitution. Because if you too take too much heating or heating spices, which I was accidentally taking while on a vacation, that really triggered my blood and my system. So it has to be your body constitution. So highly recommend doing a quiz maybe on Banyan botanicals or something like that, the Ayurvedic quiz that would tell you with emotion and body wise what body type you are. So I highly recommend that to people, because I live on this on daily basis.
Nita, I'm really glad you're bringing this up because, yes, our bodies are made of different types. A while back, I can't remember the author who had written that book about health for like based on your body type, right? Because our and you mentioned the word body constitution is different. So yes, I think you and I discussed the approach is we're not ever, it's not like we're trying to convert people to being vegan. It is a decision, an
Yeah.
ethical decision that I made for myself, for my body. But the goal is to how to help this movement of ground up, right? Like what is in our backyard? What is in our community? What is our sustainable farming? What does it look like to eat seasonally? What does it look like to get produce that's not 200 miles away, like coming from China? The other day I was telling the girls, they went somewhere and they saw apple juice. They don't drink, I don't really let them that apple juice, right?
Sure.
But I said, girls, notice there's apples from China. There's apples from,
I know.
right? So you have to start realizing what are we consuming, and you have to start
Absolutely.
looking at labels. That's how I always tell people. See what you're
So
like, start there.
exactly, exactly. So when I was going through this journey, and I decided to, I was doing I still do a food journal to see what I have done, eaten, or am I allergic to anything, or my body's reacting to something. And then I decided to do the plant-based nutrition course with T. Colin Campbell, like you had said, and it was really very mind. It was like a lot of awareness with reading the labels. I got to know if I can't pronounce it, I'm not going to buy it. If I don't know where it's coming from, or as even in Ayurveda we say, too much frozen or canned things is not good because it doesn't have that prana, the energy. So,
Mhm.
like you said, growing vegetables, like I have few vegetables, I keep changing, growing in our garden, or look for the organic produce, or connect to some CSA, or, the farming that
Mhm.
you can pick up
Mhm.
some vegetables. So that, and I highly believe like using according to the season. Like it's very difficult in the United States because berries are available, watermelon is available year round. In India, everything is eaten in the season because things will not be available out of the season. There are few set vegetables and fruits that would be in season. That's really helpful in Ayurveda because
Mhm.
it's meant to, like watermelon is very cooling. It's meant for summer. It's not meant for winter. Winter is time for grounding, nourishing soup meals or squashes. And so that was a lot of eye opener reading labels, and I went for just food labels to everywhere. Now all my products, my skin, because that's also absorbing everything you're putting out,
Mhm.
hair products, everything is, you have to really be conscious of, because there are so much chemicals, and that's what going into your body and changing your chemistry, right? So everything,
Totally.
you have to be very mindful of what you're buying or what you're doing. Also, Arti, I think a lot of emphasis of staying in this lifestyle is planning. So I cook. I have two boys and husband, who are again on the same diet and same guidelines of sustaining this diet, and everything has to do with planning and just organizing things, because if you don't plan, you don't have a meal set in, then you end up getting to take away Chick-fil-A or something like that, which is so
Mhm.
bad for you.
Mhm.
So that's a big consistency. Then also my kids, I'm very happy to have such kids who are so easy in terms of eating everything. So I have to have a green on the plate, and green has to be like kale or spinach, or according to season, according to the type, I would put a green on their plate. Or there are lots of squashes now. So my kids are very, very exposed to that. And the more you do it with your kids, the more you make your family involved in the whole cooking lifestyle, the better it will be, because they will not be able to fight back or say, I'm not going to, rebellious that I want
Mhm.
to do that.
Mhm.
So I think the power comes onto your family, how you, pass it on to your kids who will be going to colleges, who will be surviving on good food, real nutrition food, not some packeted food. And that's the key to true health, because that's what I saw my mom and my grandmother doing in the kitchen, making fresh meals, whether it's lentils or rice or anything like so diversity and passing on the key, cooking to the kids is a big power that you can give it to your family. So, would you like to add something to it?
No, I'm like, you're so 100% right. Everything starts, I say everything starts
Yeah,
in the four walls that we create. So, so I know there's all of us want to change the world. Most of us want to change the world. It starts by changing what's inside our four walls, and you're doing it, right? Like you're literally making. And I've noticed a difference when I'm also a little bit of a control freak, as we all are. So I was a little controlling in the kitchen, but I'm letting the girls do a lot more, and they're more engaged in wanting to eat the stuff now. And it's 100% work. It works.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think the more you involve the kids, the better it is. Like, people ask me all the time, like, what do you make? How do you kids happy? And I feel like I make everything that kids would like, but in a very fun way. A black bean brown rice burger. It sounds so good. It has so much fiber. It's made from fresh. I'm making my own beans, and there was a time where COVID, we all were home, we all had so much cooking, and
Mhm.
a lot of responsibility. I totally get it. Even I was in the same stage, but rather than crying about it or feeling the pressure, I started learning, how can I do my cooking faster at the same time. Fresh cooking, right? The Taza table stands for fresh meals, or like so I started discovering there are things called instant pot, and I started learning how do you time it for rices or different, because I use a lot of gluten-free grains like wild rice and black rice, or forbidden rices. So I standing there on the stove while my kids are alone or getting bored, I started to discover, okay, I can do this at the same time, play with my kids and make a delicious meal. And then I started learning about food photography rather than wasting my time, because I thought that would empower people to see what my table is like. And I know Instagram is all about beautiful pictures and beautiful recipes, but even in a plant-based lifestyle, we can offer that, which is delicious actually, and it's going to be good for your health. So I feel like planning was such a key, and still is. My kids go to a private school. They have some options, but not as much as I can offer them. So I pack them, and like some fresh food a night, maybe a night before or in the morning, getting up early. So I feel like we all work, we all have things to do, but planning was such a big key. And even when I travel, I don't take it as, oh my god, it's my vacation, so why should I work? Well, it's my health, so should I work? Yes. So going anywhere within the US, I know where the whole foods are. Like, we went to Seattle for 10 days. So 10 days I'm eating out 3 times a meal. That's a lot. And
Mhm.
outside food is not catered to your health, it's catered to taste. It's not going to be like, oh, let me give you some healthy food. No, there's a lot of oil, sugar, and salt in your food. So finding a whole foods and grabbing a lot of fruits, packing a knife. I have a really nice knife that I got from Seattle, foldable knife. So I know anytime I go see waterfalls, I have a backpack and I have a lot of apples, so I can cut it and give it to my kids and myself. So that's the changes. It's not just like, oh, I eat in a restaurant. All these changes add to your health and lifestyle. And the kids are okay with it because they see mom, dad eating it. And it's such a beautiful way. The fruits are like Fuji apple, they're sweet. And so all these small, small changes, I feel like add to your investment, whether you travel within US or outside. But your health is in your hands, nobody's else's hands. So gotta work hard because nothing is easy, right? If you want easy stuff, then you can go to a frozen meal and get it, and that's super easy. And then you can microwave it and destroy all the ingredients in it. And then
It doesn't even taste good, right? Let's
exactly,
be real.
exactly.
Doesn't even taste good.
Yeah, and people who work, I know, like a lot of people ask me, like they're doctors, my friends, and they don't have the time I have, fortunately. So I ask them, like, do you have instant pot? Can you make a rice and black beans? Or can you make a taco bowl? It's so easy. So it's just about building the layers. Nobody wants bland food, including us. Everybody wants a good food, right? That tastes well. So I try to bring all the 6 components that Ayurveda teaches, like salty, sour, bitter, astringent, sweet, on a plate, because that really completely, satisfy you, because there are all the 6 elements coming into your diet. And I plate it really well. So I feel like, oh my God, even though it's simple, but it's so satisfying to you. You're like in a restaurant kind of thing. And I do enjoy going out. I love going to New York, trying some very nice restaurants, being in the culinary industry. And I feel like, but when I come back, I can do the juicing. I can go back on my detox, because that will really help my body set up back again. So I feel like these are the small, small things that I do and really helps me. And whatever you do obviously will show in your blood work or your lab work, right? And things are well because you're doing it right.
Yeah. And I love that you gave the skin example. For you, when the skin was coming up, you're like, oh my gosh, my body's obviously telling me something's up.
Absolutely.
So, and when I listen to your journey, you're saying that I did list, like our body does give us clues, right? Even a mild joint pain. Like I remember a few weeks, I was like, oh my gosh, do I need to go? I literally got a brace for a little while, and I was like, wait. That's why I always tell my clients about food journals. So it's great that you keep one. No matter where we are in our, we do need to always monitor what's going.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we don't know, right? We forget,
Yeah.
and our changing bodies, changing hormones. As we age, it all looks different. So keeping a food journal, I'm really glad you mentioned that, because and it doesn't have to be extensive. I always say just a quick little, but I think it's important we start noticing, and now that we're in this mindfulness movement, it's the idea of noticing what your body feels like.
Yeah, and then I like Uncle, the Sharma, Dr. Sharma says that you have to eat when your body is hungry. I highly believe that. Like I do not eat and say, oh, it's 9 o'clock, it's time to eat. Well, I every day ask my body, what do you think I want today? And then I really think what to make, and I do it for myself. I feel like, okay, I want a nourishing oat. I just ate oatmeal with flax meat, seeds and all this kind of stuff, because I wanted that. I wanted a touch of cinnamon today and a cardamom, because it was raining outside. I was like, I want something warm in the morning. So I think eating with your body cycle really helps, rather than just forcing it down because your digestive power or your digestive fire is slow, or something like that. So I feel like digestion is a big key also in your health. And drinking warm water throughout the day, because that is a total game changer. Here in the US, I see ice cold water no matter what the season is, and it throws the fire off, and you don't feel very good. You want that fire to be strong for digestion, so everything is digested properly. Otherwise, all that goes to, even if you're eating plant-based and you don't have proper digestive fire, goes all to the toxic side. So it's very important to keep hydrating and drinking warm water, not hot maybe, but warm.
I'm
And
so
not
glad
only
you brought that up.
I know. It really helped me actually with my skin because I realized I wasn't drinking enough water and I was doing I was enjoying actually caffeine or coffee on a trip because there were not many choices. So I thought
Mhm.
that was okay, but my body really told me no, you have to drink so much water and you'll see such a huge difference on the skin. Your bowels are clear, you feel good and your system is moving. You know that.
Yeah, Nita, thank you for bringing up caffeine too, because uh, I've been this week. I look at the themes by Friday, and I always have themes that appear. And this week, I've had a lot of conversations around addiction. So caffeine isn't it's like that coffee. I mean, I have a time that I want it. I have that time around 1 o'clock, and it's because I've habituated. Remember, life is about habits, and
Absolutely.
we like, we're animalistic, so we like structure, we like to have, and then our bodies get accustomed to it. But you know last night we went to an event and they offered coffee, and for a second I was like, well, and then I was like, no, wait a minute, what is caffeine going to do to my body at nighttime? So these are conversations, like you were mentioning, you
Absolutely.
talk to yourself, you have to talk to yourself. Like,
Absolutely. So I'm a big, like you said, habits. Habits is what takes people on the wrong side because they are just not willing to change. Like for people who want coffee, nothing can stop them from having a coffee or having a dessert. And that you have to work with yourself, your mind, and basically see the research or see the data. And of course, like everybody knows that caffeine, alcohol is never good, but people do get addicted. And I was enjoying coffee because my husband bought me a coffee machine, and being in the current industry I was serving coffee, so I got excited into beans and buying all these things. But again, like discovered that it was not the best thing to even start the day with. So I went back on my fresh juices, which is really helpful, and then a nice breakfast, warm bowl or something like that, whatever you want to do, or avocado toast. That was very nice. So you have to, I think you have to change or do things that works for you. And I think people ignore, even for my husband sometimes it's very hard that he will have to say no to a coffee. He wants that because he's used to that. The taste, I think that's very hard. Like when you tell people that don't eat cheeses, people will not listen because they're used to that taste. And that's why I love that book Dr. Neil Barnard has. Is called Cheese Trap, and it tells you how your nerves are are opiating in the same level for cheese, that they just your body will resist and will not give it in for cheese, so they want it. So habits are something you have to work for yourself, and there's nothing that anybody can do for you. You have to think what's right and what's wrong for you. And again, the food journal really helps because you're feeling those kind of acidic or symptoms, which coffee does. And giving it away for better things is a good choice. But also, like if somebody really enjoys, maybe have like twice, once a week, or maybe twice a month or something. That's not going to hurt you. But yeah, every day was a choice that I had to change for myself.
you were realizing, yeah, when you have that, awareness is.
Yeah,
So I was telling earlier, education and advocacy, but I'm sorry, awareness, education, advocacy. I think those three words are the momentum for change, right?
absolutely.
You have to have all three. You have to advocate for yourself because,
Absolutely.
Nita, it is hard in social situations. I'm not going to act like it's easy when you're like the one
So,
who maybe there's appetizers that have cheese, or, but
absolutely.
I'll tell you, for me personally, I said I thought, I literally said, I will never give up cheese. Like, I had that, right? But that is a self-limiting belief. You have to turn it around. Wait, can I give up something? And is it really giving up? Because there's great alternatives when I am feeling something, if I need to,
Yeah,
right?
and also
And
like
nourish.
I think people are so used to like those habitual patterns that they don't like it when it's broken, right? But for
Mhm.
example, like if I have to go to an event, I know the food is going to be very oily, salty, or catered food. I plan and I feed my family, eat before I leave. And I think having a strong will for and mission and purpose for your health should remain with you, because that gives you the strength. So I think my strength and my faith really helps me not to get tempted and eat something, because I've from the past 9 years I've seen that every time I cheat or eat something, it triggers my body and I it doesn't like it. So also, like if I'm invited to a friends get together where I know there's going to be nothing for me, because they are primarily going to have cheeses or meat products or things like that, I will make a nice big salad, wild rice salad or some nice hearty salad, and take it along, because I know if there's nothing else available, me and my husband can eat that and survive on it. And so I've done it in the past events. And in fact, you won't believe people love the salad because they're not exposed to that. And my salad was gone before anything people can do anything else. So it really, I think, is also exposure. When people start, like you said, awareness and exposure, and I'm a big believer of like science. I have to experiment on myself to believe it myself. Even the data could say whatever it is, but doing it on myself, and if it works, I'm going to believe it because I know it's doing its job. So I think that's a very big key, that people can do it, experiment, and then make them a part of their journey, right? So
Totally.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
right. I mean, everyone does. Experience is critical, and
right,
especially, I'm glad that you're highlighting. We're saying it again. When coaching clients, or when you're working with individuals or families, you're basically giving a palette of information, and then they have to mold and construct what's going to work for them.
right.
Because you know and speaking of highlighting, I know you have a Thanksgiving menu that you've done before previously, and you just tweaked these great recipes that people are used to, but you modified them so you can add twists. And the great thing about cooking is it is a science, and you
Absolutely.
can fool around with it and play with it, and it's like you have this wonderful lab in your house and thank you for also reminding us about the mindfulness behind cooking, because I know we're rushing to get food on the table, and there are shortcuts, and I'm sure you can share a few, if you don't mind sharing a few, that you recommend for the busyness of life that you have come up with.
So, yeah, go ahead. You want to finish?
Yes, yes, just the busyness, because I do know that a lot of our families, a lot of our listeners, they are so strapped for time. Even when they're working from home, it's like constant, constant, constant. So what are some shortcuts you do think could really help when people are trying to do this fresh taza type lifestyle?
So I think getting some grains ready would be nice. Like I have the time to do it when I need to, but getting some grains in the fridge would be great. Like making fresh quinoa in an instant pot, or wild rice, or some healthy options of grains that one likes for their family. That is great. And then I would highly suggest a grocery list of basic fruits and vegetables according to your body type or according to what your family likes in the fridge, and then even chopping them ahead of time. My favorite to go few kitchen appliances that I use is I have two instant pots, so I can do it both at very quickly. And I have invested into very nice Japanese sharp knives. So my chopping is really fun rather than, oh my God, I have to do more, right? And then Vitamix. Nowadays, for season is changing, lots of soup. So, have a few set recipes already selected on the weekend, and then plan on those making soups and a grain on the side or grain salad on the side. So those are very fast to go, kind of things that people can do. And it's very hearty, it's very filling. When you have fiber, a lot of grains, healthy grains, I think it really satisfy you quickly and you feel full very fast, even though you might be eating meat or other animal products. But I think that is my to go thing. And lots of herbs, you can grow it, you can buy it from the grocery store. Herbs are, I think, have 0 calories but add so much immense flavor. So for goal of taza table, I stick a lot of herbs in my salads. I do lots of raisins or seeds that suits one, and lots of colorful vegetables.
That's awesome. Nita, I know in your family you've had to deal with some food allergies, and I know that's in every house. If you talk to anyone, they have at least, at least
Sure.
someone, or we at this point know of at least, you can count on a
Right.
handful.
Right.
So what have you found has been helpful in your journey, in your, when you are encompassing this whole food plant, and because honestly, a lot of the things in whole food plant based are nut based.
Right. Right.
So what have you
So, yeah, so I have two boys. One has a serious egg allergy that we
found?
discovered when he was only 2 months, 2 years old, and the other one has peanuts and tree nuts allergy. But he can eat almonds and cashews, but no other nuts, and they can have cross contamination. So I don't prefer anything like basically nut free. So since we're vegan lifestyle, it's very easy for the older one. But for the younger one, we prefer not to have nuts or maybe incorporate said sunflower seeds and things like that. That's very hardy. But
Mhm.
frankly, to be honest, there's so much fun with all these meals that we don't miss it. We don't miss a nut component. And yes, going out, my kids might have a little bit tough time eating because other people are eating, chicken sandwiches or things like that. So it's very difficult. So they take lunches from home. And if I'm going traveling out, I stick to lots of whole food ingredients or pick up a lot of fruits, or maybe we do healthy sandwiches once in a while that could have a healthy sunflower butter or something like that. But I think my kids, as long as you're getting protein and calcium from such healthy sources like plants, I don't think they are as nut deprived, or they feel like there's something like I can make delicious vegan Alfredo. And sometimes it's cashew based, sometimes actually not cashew based. It's like oat based, oat flour
Mm.
based. So it's like, and it's gluten free too. Most of my meals are 80% gluten free. So there are a lot of alternatives. Like I yesterday I was like, as I'm telling you, I'm always learning in the car. My son was going swimming, and I'm like, hey, I want to do some fresh cheese, and I learned on YouTube how to do a sunflower seed cheese, which it looks like exactly melting cheese. I was like, I'm going to do that, and it's so healthy, right? And there's no sort of nut or anything in it. So I think planning is the big key, and then yeah, lots of different variety, like exciting something. Yeah, I feel like kids are all about exciting. Like if you give them a boring meal, they'll be rebellious a little bit. So I always make sure my kids are like excited to come to the
Mhm.
table, hungry to come to the table. I think they do very well with that.
You're right. There is an excitement to it all. Nita, we're almost out of time. So can you, I could talk to you forever, of course, but
I know.
can you highlight, what would you like to leave our audience with? And can you tell everyone where they can reach you?
So I think like my core motto, I would say whatever you eat and whatever you think, you become that. So I mean, 95% of my meals are cooked at home, fresh by myself with a calm mind. So I think, just start looking for, recipes, something fun, get your whole family involved, and make it like a mission to stay healthy no matter where you go is my parting message. And it's really helped me and my family stay strong. We don't have to worry about going to doctor offices for minor cold coughs and other issues. And I'm a Reiki healer, so I do chakra Reiki on my kids whenever I feel like it's necessary. So I think once you keep your immunity strong, you will see that you no longer have to keep suppressing those symptoms with antibiotics or medication. I'm not a doctor, but I'm very passionate about nutrition. So
Mhm.
I would say, like, invest into your health and body, and I think things will go so well.
Totally. And you said it, building immunity to keep the
Yeah,
inflammation low. Inflammation is everything, and keeping immunity high to keep the inflammation low, that prescription will work for sure.
absolutely.
Nita, where can everybody reach you and all your ways of reaching
Sure,
you?
sure. So I think the best contact would be my email, tazatable@gmail.com. You could leave any messages. I do private dining events or private classes. So that would be very exciting if somebody's interested. And then also, I'm very active on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is Taza Table. And And that's, I think, a good way to leave me a message. Yeah.
Yes, please check out the recipes, y'all. They're really simple, really quick, really easy to get ingredients. Nita's really taken time to make it, efficient but good.
Yeah, and Aarti's inspired me to do a holiday dessert. So upcoming in
Yes,
December, we want to do some very fun, like a 1 hour class where you can learn something beautiful but also very healthy. That's good for you and doesn't leave you very heavy as most desserts do.
yes.
So
Please check it out, you all. Everything can be on Zoom. Nita discovered, like we all did. She really designed
yeah,
some great cooking classes online, so it's all possible. So just even if you're not in our Hampton Roads area, you can check the
yeah,
website out.
yeah, and
Thank you
then
so much, Nita.
yeah, thank you so much, Aarti, for having me. This one, I think the time went so fast by, and it's awesome, being your friend and having you in my life and doing
Right
this
back
journey
at you.
together. Yeah,
Right
absolutely.
back at you. Thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much. Have a wonderful week ahead. And remember to keep yourself first and foremost by adding light in your life means always paying attention to your mind, body, and spirit. Have a good one.